Yeah, I see it. It is live. Yeah.
The world's best gather here. XBL baseball starts now.
It's crushed to the moon, and we're tied.
He picks it up on the second, over to first in time for the double play that ends the inning.
That's gone.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Trying to repeat.
It's good!
To the pen! This game is over!
Oh! Crushed! Left field! Off the pole!
Domingo Bell, deep right center field, carrying, and it's gone!
That was hit hard. Left center field. Did she do it again? To the wall!
Swung on Bell to the
deep left field. Is this baby gone? A grand slam!
Champion! The AAA World Series is over! What a line shot!
I can't believe my eyes.
Welcome back, everybody, for another edition of AAA semifinal baseball. My apologies for the lack of cameras today. You're not going to get to see Mist and I's beautiful face. There were some issues with some Streamlabs OBS type of stuff, so we're just going to run it no cameras, but give you the same show as always, same preview and same game, and hopefully in for some exciting ones. A quick shout out for tonight. Right after this, we're going to be running the start of the semifinals between Pseudo and Luke, and that one will be live. It won't be pre-recorded the way we've done the rest of the playoffs, but with that said, Mist and I can see each other. And Mist, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Obviously excited about all of the current playoffs. We had we had Lazy and Flash put together a couple of really nice games yesterday, and we're gonna have Luke and Spluto going at it directly after this matchup. That's going to be the start of that series. And then this one, of course, is just absolutely deadlocked here. It's now been reduced to a 3-game series.
All right, exactly right. A 3-game series, and this game 5 is going to be pivotal, and that brings us into the first point so far. We're locked up at 2-2, and it's been 4 road wins. The away teams are really playing their part on the road. There's been no home field advantage so far. One of them, Ricks, tonight is looking to take advantage. In the best of 3 series, he has the home field advantage now since they're knotted up. So he's looking to get a foothold and win game 5. Other than that, yesterday we saw games 3 and 4. The power finally broke through. Even though they're contact swingers, we saw some power come to light. Hammerlawn Ballo really showed up in games in the 3rd game. And then we saw in game 4, Ricks went yard a few times and we saw some run rules. But so far it's been 2 one-run games and 2 blowouts. So you have anything to say about the away dominance and then the power that's finally come to fruition here later in the series?
I do think being at home is an advantage in SMB, as it is in pretty much anything. But I don't read a lot into that. I think it's more about momentum, especially with these guys. And we saw in games 3 and 4 exactly that if either guy they're the type of player that kind of feeds on momentum, especially offensively. They can always pitch, but when the momentum goes their way on offense, that's really what they need. And in the absence of that is what we saw in games 1 and 2. So this is just an absolute deadlock. And but it's nice to see that they did flash some quality offense, which we knew they could do. You're not finishing 2nd and 3rd in AAA with no offense. They're not really at the top of the echelon there, but they're certainly capable, and they showed that.
Yeah, exactly right. You don't have to necessarily be at the top on both ends of the spectrum. These guys, are at the top on pitching, but batting-wise, you at least have to be able to put runs across at a decent pace, and they showed that they can obviously do that. After a 1-0 game in game 2 yesterday, they showed up and both scored double-digit runs in a game each, respectively, and we saw a little bit of lapse in the pitching and fielding overall in games 3 and 4, and might be why we saw some more runs coming across early on in the series. The pitching was stellar, and the fielding really was huge for both sides. Saved a lot of runs, especially for Eduardo in game 1. Everyone remembers when he gunned that run out in the 15th inning at home plate, then wins it in the 16th. So fielding has been a huge key in this game. And actually yesterday, part of the reason the run rules happened was some RNG issues and some misreads in the outfield, and that led to a few extra runs and put that run rule over the threshold. So it's going to be interesting to see which side shows up today. And like you said, with the momentum, especially I feel like for contact hitters, you got to string along a lot of hits together. So the momentum plays a big role in the way that you can bat at the plate. It's not the same as someone that hits consistently for power, who 1 or 2 pitches get left on the middle of the plate and the game's changed. These guys got to usually hit 3 or 4 before anything happens. So the momentum's huge. And we'll get your last takes before we go into game 5. They're pre-recorded. As always, for this series, they've all been pre-recorded, and we're going to start in inning 2, and Eduardo's going to be up 1-0 because of a DC, so you are going to miss the first 2 innings. But other than that, we'll get Miss last takes, and then we'll jump in.
Yeah, I just want to say also these types of players, a defensive play or a double play. I mean, against anybody, but if you can hit bombs, you know, it doesn't matter quite as much. It's 2 down. You just got knocked out of a big inning. You can still just hit a bomb. These guys can't exactly do that. So, defense fielding is really key, and we saw that in the first 4 games. And I think that still could be key. You know, you make a couple plays with your shortstop, second base, maybe play infield in on a bunt or on a nubber, you know, at the right time, or even outfield in can make a big difference. So looking forward to the set. I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, we're ready to go, and it's going to be exciting to see. Maybe this series ends tonight. Maybe it goes Game 7. If it does, we'll stream Game 7 maybe over the weekend. If not, y'all are going to have to wait all the way until next week to see it. But it's about to start, coming at you pretty soon. Here in a couple minutes, I'm going to grab me another alcoholic beverage for the adults out there, and then we're going to get right into the game and have a little fun tonight. So y'all hang on tight. We're switching everything over.
Sounds good.
I don't think I'll ever loosen up. And I don't care what you do if you're coming for a better backup. And every day is brand new, gonna build it from the bottom up. I got one life, trying to get it right. Don't need you telling me what I should do. I'm a renegade, I'm unafraid. Don't need you telling me what I should do. Nobody can tell me nothing.
The second baseman, number 10, Lloyd Cook.
All right, sorry everybody, my mic was muted. I'm going to skip ahead right here to the bunting's over in the second. Then we'll start, and the game should be live now, right to where they're supposed to be. And this is Game 5 of the AAA semifinals, tied up 2-2 like we said. Eduardo's going to be up 1-0 in the second inning. And we've got Manny, shoot, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, Banuelos on the mound. A very similar pitcher to two of his recent pitchers in the series. He's not throwing the ace out there this game, so we're probably going to see another early bullpen from him, which has actually worked really well for him this series. The only game it didn't work was in that run rule loss in Game 4, where Ricks really came in and beat up Sabrina Perez, which is something that you're not going to see from really anyone across the AAA. And there's a dive missed in right field, and that one's going to be enough for a triple at that great speed, and we're going to see a leadoff triple here in the second inning. And the Cerezas is looking to get tied really quickly here after the bunting fest.
Yeah, Banuelos running the 2-seam here. That's kind of interesting, especially at mid-velo. That cutter's so cherished especially in the AAA, but in both leagues. Let's see if Banuelos can. Ed does like that combo of the 2-seam fastball and the changeup, especially going away. A little tougher to go toward, which is what he's doing right there.
And another miss over there in right field. Hammerlain Ballo having a hard time out there, and he's sending him home. It's not a great throw, but it's
oh my, whoa!
And huge RNG drop, and the Cerezas take the lead as soon as the bunting is over, and there's no out still with the man on third. Might see him really early here.
Doesn't want to pitch to Wild Child. Now he's got runners on the corners.
Wow, and a really great start after going down 1 from the Cerezas here. He's going to hit into a double play here most likely. Yeah, he gets him first and second, but the run comes across, and he's already done his damage. He's got 3 runs in the inning and taking the lead. Now the pitcher comes up to the plate. We've seen a lot of pitcher hits so far this series. See if Goldie Franks, the ace for the Cerezas, can put one across here.
Yeah, and that's classic Sirloins baseball. They will set up that double play. It's kind of unusual. Some people, even ones that do like to set up that double play, they won't necessarily do it with a runner on third, you know, with none down. I would never do that personally, but it did pay off for Ed there. I think it was well worth it for him to get that double play, even though it did roll into giving up a run.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good trade-off to get 2 right there and give up the run from third. And now we're going to already see the starter come out. And a big issue here for the Sirloins could be that Goldie Franks is the ace on the mound, and now they're playing from behind. So if you got to face that ace and you're down early, that's something that can be hard to come back from. But we'll see if he's got the muster to do it. It's early in the game. And he already went to his best pinch hitter, which we've seen every game this series. An early pinch hit from Mick Steele, who's the strongest out of the bench. And he laces one to shortstop there, not going to have enough elevation on it. And now Hammerlawn Ballo comes up, who had a huge game in Game 3 with 2 deep shots. Hits that one well.
And that's already a pretty strong arsenal there, a 5-pitch arsenal going with a 2-seam and a slider. But that's an especially deadly arsenal in the hands of somebody such as Ricks or Heisman, who can really throw that slider.
Yeah, and Goldie Franks had a good outing in Game 1, gave up 3 runs, I think, before he came out, but it was through 6 or 7 innings. So Goldie Franks is, like I said, his ace, and he's good at pitching with him. He's going to have to really lock down the Sirloins as long as he can before that bullpen comes in. Get some length out of the starter if he can. And on the opposite side, you might want to be as patient as possible, because you know that the Sirloins, like usual, have went to the bullpen early. If you can get through Sabrina Perez and get through Linus Bigby, there's not a whole lot behind him.
Yeah, Digby had the I think it was Game 1 where it seemed like he went like 6 innings or something crazy.
That's 6 innings and a 16-inning run.
Yeah, so he can hang in there much longer than you would think from a standard RP.
Yeah, he's got that workhorse trait, which really paid off in that 16-inning game, because he went to the bullpen in the 3rd inning and he was able to stretch at 16 inning, which is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anybody. It sounds like something Raider would do, but he probably has done it a couple times. But it's not easy. I mean, you can run out of bullpen when you pull your starter in this league. You can kind of run out of bullpen within like not more than 2 innings later if things don't go your way.
Yeah, and that was a good catch over there in right field, diving opposite from what Hammerlawn Ballo's been doing in right field. The right fielder for the Cerezas is showing up, but like you said, Miss, to piggyback on that, the bullpen management has been really, really outstanding so far this series. They've both done a good job bringing them in at the right time and getting out of situations game in and game out. And now we see a double here with 1 out after a good catch in right field. Now the Sirloins are putting some good bats on balls, and they're looking a little dangerous here. Down 2 runs.
Yeah, Ed's dangerous when he can go the other way and elevate the ball enough to get over those corner fielders. That's kind of one of the other than hitting it up the middle, kind of the modus operandi of some of these contact hitters. You can pop it over third and first base pretty easily on certain pitches.
Yeah, especially the way these pitchers hit the corner. If you get one on a corner outside or a corner inside, that's what you're looking to do with it, is put it over the head of the first or third baseman. And he gets one there, but he's not able to get any decent hits after that, and we're still at 1-3 going into the bottom of the 4th inning. Linus Bigby is going to be able to give about 30, 35 pitches. And another issue in center field, before I can finish my sentence, that's the 3rd miscalculation over there in the outfield. You're not going to be able to get away with too many of those and still win a series like this where runs are hard to come by.
It doesn't feel like the Sirloins really stretched thoroughly this morning or before the game. A little bit stiff going for those balls on the ground out there.
Good cutter on the outside edge there. And this Arsenal is definitely deadly, one that's tough to hit. And now it's a 2-strike bunt that's went foul, so it's an out. And now Choo Choo rails up, who's had some timely hits in this series and also been pretty good over there at first base. Have not seen many issues over there or any drops in the infield. The RNG hasn't hurt the Cerezas too much this series the same way it's hurt the Sirloins. And now Choo Choo does it again, another timely hit, and that's going to put one across and stretch the lead to 3 on a double with 1 out. Lombolo brings it in, but not in time.
Yeah, good hit there from Ricks. Ricks looking pretty good at the plate here, but the better of the two, I would say.
Yeah, I think they're
Although we did miss some early play.
Right, yeah, Eduardo had that one early. I wonder if it was just a solo shot or what. Gets him to throw it to first and then advances to third. You see that a lot on those ground balls with the man on second. And there's the intentional walk. We've seen a lot of those this series. These guys are playing it smart and not attacking some of the stronger hitters on the team. Already up at 21 pitches.
It does put speed on first there.
Yeah, another good gap shot here, and it might score 2.
And that runner goes. Oh, but with 2 down. Oh, brutal.
Yeah, and there's the out. 1-4. He gets 1 across. And the Sirloins have to face Goldie Franks locked in again after losing it for 1 inning. Goldie Franks is locked right back in and at less pitches, or at nearly the same amount of pitches as Linus Bigby is on the other side, but this is the starter. Ace Exterminator coming in, which is something that we've seen a couple times this series. Not a common trait, but it works whenever you're facing a starter like Goldie Franks.
Yeah, it really is an odd trait to throw on, but oh, what a play by the pitcher.
Yeah, back shoulder dive from the pitcher. You're not going to see that very often. And normally they're not going to have enough fielding to catch it.
Yeah, that's true.
Goldie Franks actually decent fielding. It looked like about 45 or 50 on the stat bar. And a quick 3 outs there. Not what you need from the Sirloins when you're down 3. We're getting into the middle innings now. Really need to lock down on the mound and give yourself a chance to get back into this. But Ricks is swinging the bat well. And Ricks, like most people know, he attacks that outside corner a lot, pitches on the paint. And gets him looking on a nasty ball from outside coming into the zone, and there's the first strikeout of the inning. And Wayne Crescent, who had a huge game in Game 4 that seemed like he put away half the batters, laces one to left field into the gap, and there's another nice gapper, another good swing and contact, and a double with only 1 out, a chance to put 1 across again.
Yeah, Rick's in the driver's seat here at home.
Chases on an inside cutter, though, something that Ricks has struggled with the whole series. That pitch coming from in the zone to inside on the hands. He's really got him chasing a lot this series. It's been a little bit of his kryptonite at the plate.
Yeah, and you know as well as anybody, Uni, sometimes you only need to find one thing that a hitter can't seem to quite handle, and you can really exploit it. You can set it up. You can always hit that when you really need something. So, you know, that's why it's so tough to hit compared to, you know, going against a computer pitcher. Is the humans will figure out if there's one pitch in one situation you can't handle, they'll exploit that.
All right, and he chooses to leave Linus Bigby in here, trying to get 1 or 2 more innings out of him in the pen. And yeah, that's the beauty of a 7-game series, is the mental fight that it is, and trying to see where you can exploit the weaknesses and who can take advantage of those and who can adjust quickly. Especially now that it's down to a 3-game series, you have no time to adjust at this point. You kind of need to know what's been working and put it to your advantage.
Yeah, and the other thing, Uni, is you can't hide behind a shallow roster the way you can, you know, in a shorter series. You know, everybody's going to get their chance, and you know, these people are going to have to come through for you, even if they're possibly the 3rd or 4th player off the bench.
And a good shot from Hammer Lombolo. We'll see if it has enough. It's a short fence, but it's pretty deep,
like
and it's not going to be enough in front of the warning track. And yeah, in that first game, since it went 16 innings, both of these guys are allowed to see every piece of the bullpen from the very first game in the set, and I think they've taken advantage of that. We saw that last game, or in Game 3 and Game 4, the bullpens came in, and both guys were able to hit around on them because they've just gotten probably a little bit used to seeing those relievers come out of the pen.
Yeah, I'm definitely someone who is definitely more comfortable the more I've seen a pitcher. You bring in somebody new, or the type of pitcher I haven't faced for quite a while. It can really throw you off. Takes it's just like switching from high to low velo or low to high velo. It's nothing you can't hit it. It's just you're just really not used to it, and you get rattled sometimes for a hitter or two, and you hope not more than that.
Right, and Goldie Franks has got some insane stats right now in the 6th inning, but gets 2 on off of walks here, and that might be what the Sirloins need as they got Willard Wiggins at the plate with clutch engaged, RBI hero engaged. This is a huge at-bat right here with a locked-in pitcher and a great batter. Already a hitter's count 2-0.
Wiggins needs to come up with something here.
Uh-oh. And not
Well,
what you
that ain't
need
it.
there with 2 outs, not able to put anything across with maybe the best batter on the team. And another good job of Ricks, as we've seen a lot this series, getting out of those jams with loaded bases.
I think he rolled over a slider. I mean, that's classic Ricks. That's what he'll suck you into doing.
Yeah, you don't see sliders a whole lot because they can be so deadly if you don't place them well, but Ricks places them well, and he uses them at perfect times to really get you to hit into balls just like that. But there's a leadoff single for the Cerezas, and they're looking to strike again and keep padding to this lead. They're slowly but surely making it more difficult for the Sirloins here in the later innings. And we see a steal. It's a 99 throw, and he turns back. He might get him at first, and he does as he second guesses himself on the steal, and his lead runner is out.
That hurts.
And just like that, the threat's gone, and there's 2 outs in the inning. Linus Bigby doing a good job coming in, and he kept him in for 1 more inning. And it looks like he might get out of this cleanly. And he does. Willard Wiggins over there, who's had a very active series, puts another one away, and it's 4-1 going into the 7th. The Sirloins are running out of time. They need to get some runs across soon.
Yeah, and as good as Wild Child looks in the airport, she's got kind of a scary black mask there, and she looks dangerous, and her stats look great, but she hasn't done that much for a while. She's due.
And only at 55 pitches for the starter right now. Should be able to run a whole game with those stats almost. Sirloins are really swinging away in this one. Check swings there, 1-2 count with 2 outs in the inning. Might be over his head, and it is. Not enough vertical on the third baseman there. We've seen some great jumping catches from the infield, but that one's floated just over his head. And now Tish Ballin up, who's had a couple of bunt base hits. We'll see if she can get a real hit here. I'm sure he's swinging away. And another liner to the shortstop. Sirloin's having a hard time getting anything going.
Continuing to roll over balls. Just haven't really placed the reticle well enough.
Linus Bigby's stats are really low, but he's keeping them in because the Cerezas are cooled down at the plate a little bit, having some trouble with the lower velo. We'll see how long until Sabrina Perez comes in.
Ooh, questionable pitch there. Oh my, Ricks takes it.
We've seen a lot of balls rolled over now for the last 2 or 3 innings. We'll see if Goldie Franks stays in. Probably a good decision. He's only given up 1, and he's been pitching really well and still has his stats lined up.
Yeah, definitely no reason to pull him at this point. Eddie needs to start hitting him.
Yeah, now Eddie's seen the same pitcher for 7 going on 8 innings. That can work to your advantage, but I'm sure at the first sign of trouble, we're going to see the Cerezas bring in that bullpen and mix up the look.
Yeah, and as we saw, that bullpen's quite a bit stronger than we initially thought for Rick. So there are some players in that bullpen if Goldie gets in trouble here.
Yeah, a couple of strong bullpens from these guys, and it's shown all series, making it hard to get hits. Really the only 2 games that the pitchers, and that's a great time on that, and now he's coming back to first, and it's going to be a replay of what happened just last inning. And the AA veteranship shows up for the Sirloins. We've seen some timely pitch outs and some timely pickoffs from him multiple times this series. And now he's going to take Bigby out. He has to. The game's getting late. Only 2 more innings to get runs across. See if the pinch
Yeah.
can get anything done.
It looks okay now because it's 4-1, but boy, that's a couple of squandered opportunities for Ricks. Giving up, one of them was with no outs. But Eddie's not hitting right now. It doesn't look that bad. He's getting on balls, just can't seem to reticle up.
Oh wow, and another great snag from goalie Franks.
And that's a momentum play. If he had 2 or 3 on, that probably would have been a hit. But he can't get anything going against. It is a really rough pitcher.
Right, and Hammerlawn Ballo must have had a solo shot in the first inning before the DC. They allowed a bunt home run, and Hammerlawn Ballo's got one right now. So we'll see if he can have another game with 2 home runs, as he's in a 3-1 hitters count here, and he needs to make his name known. And he takes a walk there. That's okay in that situation because Cat Stans is up right behind you. Has had some great timely hits in this series. She looks to do it again here. Sirloin still using reticle high like they've done the rest of the series. It's worked decently well. Oh no, and he's not going to go to second, so we're going to have a runner safe at second with 2 outs now, and still an opportunity to get something across. Lloyd Cook has great power, and power versus righties engaged. Another liner to the second baseman.
Wow.
And now the pressure really intensifies as you're down to the last inning, down 3. Game 5 is huge, huge, huge in a best of 3 now.
Yeah, it is.
And we'll see if the Cerezas can take advantage of the fact that they've been getting base runners on but haven't been able to stretch that lead for a few innings now. They're going to have some good batters up. Number 2 is up, 3 and 4 behind them. Sabrina Perez in, who's nearly impossible to hit. Did see her get roughed up in game 4 though.
Yeah, she's got 2 absolute gem traits there with the K collector and the elite cutter. And Ed needs her to hold here for sure, for starters. Interesting that she.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, interesting that she runs a forkball, considering she has that elite cutter. That's an interesting play.
Yeah, and he did a good job stretching Linus Bigby. If he can get this game into extra innings, he's going to have room to spare with Sabrina to go a couple of innings. But obviously he's got to put it away here, and then he's got to do his job at the plate. There's 2 on with 1 out and a good batter up in Dizzy. Couple of cutters going away.
Ooh, nice location on the fork, but doesn't get the call.
Oh, and a missed dive from first base. Not quite enough reach on it. Hammerlawn Ballo throws it in. The bases are juiced. A big opportunity here for Ricks to really put this game out of reach with Choo Choo Rails, who's got a triple and a double and has clutch engaged. And a moonshot up to the sky. It might be enough to get third.
Yeah, he's got to come no matter what.
Great arm from center field.
Yeah.
Yep, not going to be enough though. 1-5. A sac fly, push another one across, and even 1 run right now is pretty big.
Yeah, I think even if you're banking on an error by the catcher, you have to go there if you're up 3 and try to get 1 more.
And there's the Sirloins. Willard Wiggins going to limit the damage. Sabrina Perez does give up 1 and gives up a few hits, but able to get out of it there. And now it's all or nothing for the Sirloins. A lot of pressure on you. Bar shows 2, but he hits it deep left center field. It's carrying. Is it going to reach the wall? And what a catch out there from Mariposa. She jumps up and snags it 3/4 of the way up.
Yeah, I said she was due. I didn't know that she was due on defense, but boy, what a play out there.
The way these guys play, the defense is just as big as a big hit for these guys. Huge for momentum.
Yeah, and a steep hill continues to get steeper and steeper here for Ed.
Yep, down to his last 2 outs here, and he's going to have some weaker batters come up after Adonimus. Is he going to find the line? It's going to be a little bit foul, and now we're on a 3-2 count with only 2 outs in the bag.
Just can't get any momentum right now, the Searles.
Good check swing, and he's got 1 on, and maybe he can get another walk or a single here and really put the pressure back on Ricks. And he does. He puts it down the line.
Wow.
To get a man to third and get a man to second. He's going to have a couple in scoring position. Still down 4, though. You still need to do something else after Damian Rush comes up. Go ahead run is on deck. Chases the change up low. Goldie Frank still in the game here in the bottom of the, or in the top of the ninth.
That's what you don't want to do here. Don't chase low.
Oh, and gets a weak pop up to the infield. Down to the last out. Pressure bars at 4 for Tish Ballin.
How's that bunter trade? I don't think she'd be bunting here, though you never know.
She's got on base safely with a couple of bunts this series. Good take on the outside on a curveball. Now 2-2. Weak contact to left. She's got some speed, but not going to be enough, and that's the end of Game 5 as Ricks wins 5-1 and makes his takes his advantage as now he's up in the series 3-2, looking to put it away in Game 6. We're going to switch things around and then come right back at y'all as we get things switched over.
I'm out for a sec. Oh, good. I'm back. Good.
All right, everybody, and we're back now for Game 6 after Ricks took Game 5, and now he's up 3-2 in the series. He's looking to finish it off and make his name in the World Series against Zlat as the Sirloins on the other side try to even the series at 3-3 and get back into the World Series. He's looking to capture that all-elusive AAA championship after all the seasons that he's had in the AAA. Hasn't been able to crown himself champion yet, but back at home for the Sirloins after we saw the first home win of the series. And we'll see if Peril Point can play to him and if he can get this thing tied up.
Yeah, I wonder how many seasons this is for Ricks. I know it's at least his third. I think it might be his fifth or sixth. I'm not exactly sure, but somewhere in that range. Another long-time AAA veteran that you'd love to see, you know, either one of these guys make it to the finals. They're both great guys, and they've both been, you know, really good citizens in the community and have always been good players.
And we're going to see Slip Vanderwink on the mound here for Game 6 with all the marbles on the table for the Sirloins. With their backs against the wall, they've got to get this one here. Their season is over. And it starts off with Ricks, just like last game, a lot of bloopers over the infield. And he's got good speed on early with the leadoff single.
We've got a request to update the series score. Just so you all know, the graphic says 2-1. It is 3 games to 2.
Right.
Ricks.
And now we've got 2 on with no outs. Looking for a hot start here for Ricks. He showed up in the third inning of the last one, and that's not what you want there, is you're going to hit into a double play, even with the speed, not enough. Pushes the guy to third, but now there's 2 outs. We'll see if the Serlings can get out of this inning clean. You don't want to get down early again. We saw that did not work well for you in the last one. But a good shot to right field is going to find some space over there in the outfield, and there's the leadoff run. The Cerezas put in some work early, and they're already taking the early lead here in the top of the first.
Yeah, and this is a game Eddie needs to not get rattled no matter what's going on. Your back's against the wall here. So he just needs to, every single pitch needs to be full concentration.
Yeah, no doubt. He's got to really pitch extremely well and hold the Cerezas down, because right now your bats are a little bit cooled off.
Yep.
That's a good hit to left field, but not going to be enough as Ballin puts it away. And it's 1-0 after the top of the first. And we'll see if the Serlings can get their bats going in this one after giving up 4 hits very early on. Hammer Lombardo comes up to the plate versus Lefty Tabernacle again on the mound for the Cerezas with that interesting pitch arsenal. But it works well with the high junk stats.
Yeah, you almost never see this arsenal. It is a very usable arsenal. Curveball is just one of those pitches that everybody uses, but this is still, any 5-pitch arsenal is usable.
He's going to get a pop out there after a great slider on the second strike to get in. Gets him popping out on a low changeup right there. Now Kat stands up to the plate, who hasn't had a stellar series or a stellar playoffs to her standards, only batting .255, a 1 home run.
That was a big home run, though. Wasn't she the one that hit that monster? Yeah.
I believe she was the one that hit the walk-off in, or not the walk-off, the go-ahead in the top of the 16th.
Wrong stadium for that swing, but a good crack from Ed.
Yeah, and Ed knows if you want to get home runs here, you got to put them down the right field line. And he floats that one over the second baseman's head. Not enough to get through the outfield, but he gets a single now with 2 outs. Willard Wiggins up, who was in a huge spot last game when the bases were loaded with 2 outs and wasn't able to get anything across, looking to make up for it here.
Yeah, and this is another starter for Ricks that has a lot of stats. It's not all velo, but that's a lot of stats. So you want to, take, even though there's a bullpen there, I wouldn't mind taking some pitches out of this guy if I'm Ed.
Yeah, Ricks has built a really deep rotation as well as a deep bullpen. His pitching is really tough to hit just because of the skill, obviously, on top of the fact that he's got stats all the way up and down. Already at 20 pitches, though, in the bottom of the first. Oh, yeah. And a great snag. We've seen some great pitcher plays from the Cerezas so far the last 2 games. And another one right there, only 1 hit across and 1 walk, not able to manufacture any runs out of it. We're at 1-0 going into the second.
Yeah, boy, a grounder that gets through the middle there would have been so big. You can take even more pitches out of it, and you probably get a run out of it, and possibly more.
Yeah, and I think if the Sirloins lose this series, they're really going to be kicking themselves for the fact that they've had a lot more base activity than the Cerezas this series, but Ricks has done an outstanding job wiggling out of those situations. Sirloins have gotten 2 or 3 on. It seems like every game Ricks gets out of at least 1 or 2 of those, though. And whenever Ricks is hitting the ball the way he's hitting it now 2 games in a row, from game 4 and to game 5, you've got to get your own. You've got to put up at least 5 or 6 here, you think, if you're going to win. Bounces off the pitcher.
Oh, doesn't get the hit runner. Wow.
Good enough speed to get on at first right there. Might be credited with a hit, but we've got great speed and 1 out for the pitcher, Lefty Tabernacle up. We'll see if we see a bunt.
Boy, that's a lot of hits in a short period of time going to the pitcher. And here's another one.
Not in time for 2, but he's able to get that speed off of the base pass. Gets him at second. Dulce de Leche up, who's had a great series so far in the field. And a couple of good hits so far in the series, but nothing incredible to note.
Yeah, that's a huge play from Vanderwink to get the lead. I mean, it'd be so easy to just throw to first, you know, conservative, but that was a big out and able to get out of it here.
And if you're the Sirloins, you got to figure out how to start putting some better bats on balls. This is 2 games in a row now that you haven't been able to manufacture runs at the pace that you're used to. You're not a huge run scorer, but you're used to scoring more than 0. And then last game, I think he only scored 1, maybe 2. I think he averaged around 6 a game or so. You got to get back up to the mean and do what you were doing all season. What got you here?
Yeah, and that's going to be tough against Ricks, but it's still got to be 4 or 5. It can't be 0 to 1, obviously.
Right. He's lost 3 games with scoring 0 or 1 run. The 2 games he's won, he scored 10, and then I believe he scored 6. Oh, and he gets caught trying to steal right there for the second out.
You know, on the one hand, you can't blame him because it's just so hard to hit. But at the same time, you can't be giving up, you know, easy outs there.
Yeah, and the amount of pickoffs and steal attempts gone wrong so far in this series has been pretty crazy. There's been a lot of timely pickoffs, a lot of timely pitch outs, and the base running has been hard to come by outside of hitting them around. Just stealing straight up has not been very successful so far through 5 games.
Yeah. And that really speaks to the you know the experience, the veteranness of these 2 players. When you have new players, you're not going to see a bunch of pickoffs. People are running wild. They generally don't watch runners too closely to begin with. They also get distracted in the big moments. But these 2 players, we haven't really seen any of that.
Yeah, I think you said that perfectly. We've definitely seen the way that the experience of playing in this league really helps you out. These guys don't seem to get too rattled or anything in those situations. They're always aware of who's on base. They're always aware of the situation, and they seem to make the right play nearly every single time. But we've got good speed on at second again. A single can score a run right here, and he gets a weak pop-up. That's exactly what you need if you're the Sirloins. You got to try to get out of this inning clean again. You don't want to give up runs early. Not the way that you're batting. And even a few innings of shutout ball on the mound can get you some momentum at the plate where you don't feel as much pressure to get runs across. You might be able to swing a little bit more loosely. Lloyd Cook with a dive catches it with his chest and able to get it out for the third. Bottom 3, only 2 hits so far, 1 in each inning for the Sirloins. He's going to go to the pin early, something we've seen very often. A mixed steal like every game so far with rally starter and pinch perfect comes in.
Yeah, he's got the roster to do this, and with his bullpen, why not? I mean, unfortunately, he's starving for some kind of offense.
Not a bad idea pitching around the pinch hitter right there. McStill's got some pretty strong stats, but you have good batters coming up with Lombalo, Stanzo, then Cook. And now we're looking at a pinch runner with some 90 speed coming into the game.
Yeah, that's interesting. That player that just walked that had all those stats for hitting had almost 0 speed. So obviously the plan is to get him on and get him the heck out of there,
right,
which is exactly what Ed did.
Oh, it's not going to help him much right here.
Boy.
Though. If Lombalo has enough speed,
Gotta run.
And that hurts. You use 2 substitutions. One get walked, then the second one you bring in the speed and get taken out at second. Makes you feel like you shouldn't have subbed right there, but he's sticking to what his plan has been the whole series.
Yeah. And there's out number 2. You got to give Lombalo credit, though. He's used to posing for pictures, not having to really hustle down that line, but he got down there pretty good. And at least gives Ed somebody over there at first base to try to get something going here with Cook.
Yeah, and Cook's stats are looking really good. Locked in early into this game after a diving play last inning. Dangerous batter puts it through the
Oh, there it is.
Got to have enough speed to get. Oh, no.
Oh, what? No.
Oh, no. A base running issue, and we haven't seen much of that so far this series, and that hurts as you finally get a couple on base.
I mean, ooh, that hurts.
Another situation where the Sirloins might be able to look back if they lose this series and say, I had issues. I had people on base and wasn't able to take advantage of it. And now to
And now carries over to the next inning. Yeah, there's momentum for you. Boy, that hurts.
Yeah, and here comes the Cerezas with the momentum back on their side with the early leadoff hit.
Oh, down the middle.
The familiar Linus Bigby comes in first. With Workhorse trying to get minimum 3 innings out of this guy before you bring in Sabrina. And Cook's not going to have a place to get there, and that's going to get him into third. And now you got runners on the corners with no outs and a little bit of danger here. The Cerezas ready to break this game open here in the 4th.
Not the most nimble play from second base. If you're a middle infielder, you have to get that done. Come on, this is the whole schmear.
Able to get into a double. Oh, he sends it home. And he's going to hold them all on. Feeling the pressure, knowing that he's not able to get many across. Trying to keep everybody right where they're at, and we'll see if that pays off or not.
That looked like it was 2 to me, Uni. Oh, boy. That's tough. You got to run directly at the runner. You can't just throw home like that.
Yeah, and we saw him take the 2 and give up the 1 last game, and it ended up costing him. And now the pitcher's going to get a 2 RBI hit as it goes into the corner, and Lombala with a bad dive. We'll see if he sends him home. A 99 throw. He's going to keep him going. And there's a 3 RBI hit for the pitcher. Gets out at third, but it doesn't matter. He's already done his damage, and the pitcher helps himself out. And now it's a big inning for the Cerezas as they take an early 4-0 lead.
Yeah, and that's how this game plays, Uni. You know as well as anybody. We just saw how a couple of little things can grow into an absolute dragon in a matter of 3 or 4 batters switching to the other player.
Yeah, and we saw the momentum fully take the Cerezas side right there, and we'll see if the Sirloins can kind of temper that a little bit. They've got to get something going. This is 2.5 games now that you've really gotten outplayed in the field and at the plate. You've got to stem the tide, and you've got to get some runs across.
Yeah, and this is where I'm saying it's really hard to stay concentrated. If this was a scrim, I guarantee you kind of check out and just whatever. Can't do that here. This is the whole schmear. Eddie's got to really dig in here. Couple singles gets him back in this.
All right, we're seeing the pressure get to him there with a chase as Willard Wiggins over there puts away 2 quickly. And now we're going to see a really quick inning here, and the Cerezas still have the momentum on their side after a quick inning. That's exactly what you do when you put up runs and then you hold them to nothing right after that. That really opens up the floodgates possibly here.
Yeah, I think there was a lack of concentration there, which is completely understandable. But now you have to get back on the mound. If Ed can get out of here clean in this half inning, he's got to have the mentality that he's right back where he was, where it's still a fairly close game, and there's still time to get something going.
Yeah, even as a veteran, it's hard when you're in this situation and you know your season's on the line. 4 runs feels like 20.
Yeah, and we both know 4 runs in this game with several innings to go is not anything. But when momentum's against you, it like you said, it feels like 12 or 13 runs.
Yeah, the Sirloins really got to treat every single pitch and every single at bat like it's the last one of the game, because they've got to take advantage of every situation they have. 4 runs the way Ricks has been pitching is not easy to come by, and you've got to get more than that. But now we're going into the bottom of the 5th. 4 scoreless so far for the Sirloins. Time is ticking.
Needs to show an eye here.
Yeah, even taking a few good pitches and swinging. And the RNG finally helps the Sirloins there as we get a 0.3% drop. We'll see if that can end up mattering or not with Tish Ballin at the plate. With bunt or trait, and we've seen her bunt a few times. Haven't seen her bunt in the last 2 games, but we know she's very capable of laying down a good bunt and getting on base. That one might find a gap out there. I think it will.
Oh, there it is.
This is a dive, not enough to get there. Now the runner's on the corners with no outs, and this is those opportunities, and you have a tough decision here. You have Linus Bigby up in the 5th. He's going to keep him.
Wow, really? No.
Yeah, this is one of those situations. I know Linus Bigby still has stamina and he's your best pitcher and you've been running that same rotation, but you finally have a little bit of momentum going at the plate. That's going to be
it's a pretty good swing. He's going to score that.
Yeah, it's going to score 1. But
So that actually was okay. That turned out okay for him. Yeah. Gutsy play from Ed.
Keeping the pitcher in, that's really all you can ask for right there. Longbalo, this is the type of situation where you might see him do something big, but he's not going to be able to put that one deep enough. And now there's 2 outs after only putting 1 across. Cat Stands is going to be up, and this front of the order, 1, 2, 3, has not made a huge impact on the series. This is really where your money's made. These guys have to start showing up.
She can definitely do it. She's got that outside pitch trait, just camping out there right now.
Yeah, it doesn't get a pitch
as Ed has been doing, but you can see the size of her reticle when she's camped out there.
Now Lloyd Cook, who's been the best of the 3 at the beginning of the lineup, really needs a big home run right here or anything to get runs across. It's a huge 2-out spot here in the middle inning of this game. Oh, he doesn't get it through.
Such a good pitch. Such a good pitch from Ricks there. Wow. It's hard not to chase that when it's waved in your face.
Yeah, really a perfectly placed slider on the outside corner. And barely gets him by a step over there at first.
You know, Ed did get the 1, though. This is only 3 runs, so, you know, as much as you would have liked to got, you got something there from Digby. So maybe he can dig in here and get you a couple more chances.
Get some chasing outside there. Yeah, 3 runs as much. Oh, and he's safe at first.
Oh
with the
my!
great
Wow,
speed.
fast runner.
You need to get out of this here. See if you can get a timely double play ball. Three runs is very doable, but you don't want the Cerezas to stretch it. 99 throw, and it's perfect. Gets
gambled.
Second on the steal.
Rick's continuing to gamble on those plays and continues to get burned. Oh, and see it now. It hurts even more in a way.
Is he going to look at the bullpen already? It is the 6th inning, but the way Lefty Tabernacle's been pitching, I wouldn't blame him for keeping him in. The starter went the entire game in the last one.
Not going to leave him.
And the pinch hitter
down the middle
gets a hit. And now we got 2 outs with 2 on.
Wow, that's a lazy pitch, uncharacteristic from Ed. Needs to shake it off. Needs to dig in here.
Dulce de Leche is tense. Linus Bigby finally fading on the mound.
Throwing a couple rough 2-seamers though, and there's a nice cutter.
Barely misses the corner, and here's a big 2-2 pitch.
Really nailing his spots right there. Oh, and gets out of it.
A nice catch, and now you're in the bottom of the 6th. You finally got one across in last inning, and then you held him to 0 right here. This is where you can start to try to change the tide a little bit. You see a different pitcher coming in with weaker stats, someone that you've seen multiple times this series. See if you can take advantage of it. Willard Wiggins is going to start off.
And no change up here. This is something Ed can handle.
Good job with the eye. Keep the eye locked in. And there's a good start.
Oh, and gets butchered. Oh, he's down.
And now we'll see. He's got at least 2 at-bats. He's got to keep pitching for Fisherman Fisher after taking a headshot.
Yeah, you can't yank him just because he got hurt.
We're going to have... Oh.
Or can you?
I guess if you get hurt, you can.
We're learning something here, Uni.
Oh, no, gets him swinging. Yeah, definitely didn't expect that. Now the changeup comes into the game after 1 at-bat.
Yeah, you know, I think Ed might have done himself a disservice hurting that pitcher. He might have been better off with that than here's a player with 3 fastballs and a changeup. Might be a little more difficult for Ed, but I don't know. Ricks can throw that slider so well. Maybe he's just as well off here.
Right, same arsenal, but replaces the slider with a changeup, and it's no problem there as he laces that one into center field. And now you got 2 on 1 out again. Another situation where you have people on base. You've seen this time and time again in this series. Ricks has really won the battle of the whip so far. Sirloin's got to change that right here.
Good eye, good eye.
Nice pitch.
Ooh,
on the
that's
inside.
a tough pitch. That's a good take, though.
And now we're looking at 3-1.
Putting the pressure on him. He's got to come to the plate.
Watches
Ooh,
it.
good pitch.
Big full count pitch right here. And it's right down the middle, but he's not going to
Oh, no.
Oh,
Eddie. Oh. Oh, that was such a good at-bat there. He really worked it and just misreticled it slightly.
Might have been the meatiest pitch he's seen the entire series and not able to take advantage of it. Tish Ballin seems like she's been up in a lot of big situations. She's got to take advantage of one eventually. She pops another one up to center field on a slightly missed reticle. And once again, Ricks is able to get out of a multiple runners on situation and hold the Sirloins down.
Yeah, that's tough for Eddie. He had a pretty good half inning there, and when you really need runs, you hate to come up with nothing. Even one would have been at least something there.
And it seems like every time Ricks wiggles out of one of those, he gets a hit nearly instantly with the first or second batter after.
Yeah, you're right. That's what's been happening.
It's really been the story of the series. Ricks is able to get out of these tough situations, then he's able to muster across a few runs with small ball. And there's another one. There's 2 hits to lead off. We'll see if Sabrina Perez comes in. You can't have a very long leash here for Bigby. You're in the 7th inning in an elimination game.
But you know what, Uni? One of the reasons why that happens, and it does happen a lot of the time, there's that slight drop in concentration when you just failed.
Right.
When you had something go against you and you throw a pitch that wasn't as tight as you thought or wasn't really the pitch you should have even been throwing, and you give up that hit. But, you can't blame. That's just human nature.
Right. Yeah, even the most veteran players, it's hard to keep that mental locked in whenever it seems like things are going against you that you can't control. Big B is still staying out there with the bases loaded in a huge spot, possibly a series-deciding spot.
Yeah, and, both players have played well, but, you got to hand it to Ricks. He's really played a good series, a tight series so far. If he does end up advancing, certainly would be well earned. And it's going to, if Eddie comes back and wins this, it'll certainly be well earned on that side.
You've really seen why both of these guys are in the semifinals. Very rightfully so, 2 and 3 seed.
And Kawashi in chat says that the game has been kicking Ed while he's down, and I have to agree with Kawashi on that.
Oh, and right outside of the reach
hot
of
take.
Cook, it's going to score 2.
No. Oh, and hung up, but makes it over to second base.
Such a painful hit if you're the Sirloins because it's just centimeters outside of your glove, and you can see the frustration there as he leaves a curveball very centered on the plate, but Ricks watches it.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying. Human nature. The next pitch is right over the middle.
Really attacking the inside. He's going to get the pop out there, but the damage has been done with 2, and now the lead stretches to 5. You've only had, for the Sirloins now, 2 runs in the last 3 games. 5 runs
boy,
monumental.
It's been really tough rowing, which is not unexpected against Ricks. He was the one game that he beat me. I think was the toughest pitching I saw the whole season. I think the Jawas gave me a really tough game. But when Ricks is locked in, boy, he's. Even when we talk about the top of the echelon, I think Ricks is as good as anybody on the mound. He's so stingy. He won't give in.
Yeah, he's definitely
kind of like
willing
Spliff.
to walk and definitely going to make you fight for every single pitch that you're going to get. And that's part of the reason we've seen missed reticles from the Sirloins. Oh, and 2 right on the reticle where he guessed, but he doesn't swing with Lombolo. And able to manufacture a walk now as we got 2 on, but we've seen this time in, time out the entire series. Ricks has wiggled out of these. He's going to have to do it again right here. You don't want this game to get more interesting if you're the Cerezas.
Yeah, and Eddie's got the right person up here. He's perfectly comfortable having Cat up there right now.
Oh, and that's exactly what you need is you're able to send it to right field into the corner, and we're going to see one run score. And there's a double
Wow.
right outside of the reach of the first baseman, and that's huge as you have Lloyd Cook to the plate with no outs. You kind of have to pitch to him.
Yeah, none down is what's driving this. Now you're on the hot seat.
And I think if Ed's able to come back and win this game, the big story is taking out the starter after being so successful. The relievers, one got headshot, and now this reliever getting roughed up, and there's another one into the gap left field, and now we're seeing a little bit of life out of the sirloins.
It's going to roll forever.
Lloyd Cook coming in and finally showing up in this series, and the game is
that
much
3
closer. 6-4.
Wow,
Still
Cook.
no outs.
Monster hit there. As soon as it came off his bat, you could see he was going to clear the shortstop too. And that's not where you want to. That's not if you're on defense. This isn't where you want to see a ball clearing the shortstop's head in there into left center, because it really rolls for a long time out there.
Yeah, and the stakes finally wake up. It's been 2 games, nearly 3 of absolutely dormant bats, but now we haven't even seen an out yet in this inning, and we've seen 3 runs come across, and we've got high pitch and big hack on Preston Adonis, and a reliever should be coming into the game. This is a good batter to have up in this situation. Not your best, but not your worst by any means, and you have good speed at first.
Okay, so we got a 3-pitch pitcher coming in here with a 2-seam.
Yeah, a little bit. We've only seen this pitcher once in the series so far.
That's not really that strong a pitcher. Even the velo is not jacked.
Big hack engaged.
Oh no, Eddie! Oh!
And that would have been huge if that got over his head, if he just slightly had some more elevation on it. Now
Yeah, the only saving grace was that it was only 1 out. So now you at least still have pretty good situation here.
Really need to stay out of a double play ball here. Even if you can get that man from third and you get it to a 1-run game, that's always tougher for the pitchers whenever you know it. You're just a solo shot away from tying, and that's exactly what he did need to do is he hits it to second, but what is he doing?
What?
Oh, no. I don't know if that was a mental lapse or what from Ricks, but it's huge because now there's only 1 out.
I think it might have been a controller issue. I think something must have cut out there.
Wow, not what you want to see. Whatever the issue was from the Cerezas, that could end up costing you the game.
Yeah, that's not lag. That's some kind of I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't think it would have been 2 though, Uni.
Yeah,
I think it would have been
speed
1.
Might have had him safe. I think you're right. We'll see if the Sirloins can take advantage of it, whatever it is. You might not get a better opportunity to score again in this game.
If Ricks can get out of this, there'll be no harm from that. But if he doesn't, then that's really going to hurt.
And the infield shift.
Oh, my.
He's going to send him home, but he turns him back, and now the bases are loaded, 1 out. And we're going to see Tish Ballin, who, like I said, it seems to be up every single time the bases are jacked up. And she's got to come through right here.
And with her power, it's so tough.
Doesn't bring the infield in, even with the bunt shown.
She's going to bunt.
And that's a perfectly placed bunt. Might be enough to get her to first. Not quite by a step, but this game is tied now in the 7th, and we've had a 5-run inning from the Sirloins, and man,
wow,
now it's really interesting after the game's been a little bit, or it's been all a bit on the Cerezas side. Now the Sirloins have really came and taken the ropes.
Yeah, I think fans of that bunter trade are going to throw a parade tonight after that bunt there.
And that one's going to find a gap in second. It might score 2 as Sirloins. He rounds the base at third. He's able to get there and sends the man to second. And a 7-run inning now for the Sirloins. It's 6-8. And Hammerlaw Barlow up to the plate 10s. Wow, what a great inning from the Sirloins we've seen here. Really came to life after really struggling for nearly 26 innings or so.
Wow.
And all the talk we've had about mental, and Ed is showing that AAA veteranship like we've said so many times in this series. It seemed like everything was against him, and now his eye is locked in. He's taking walks, and he's just hitting pitches where they're supposed to be pushed to. And now you have another dangerous batter at the plate.
Yeah, and the whole time I was going through all that, he should be doing this. I knew Ed would be doing it, and there he goes with a big hit.
Uh-oh. Now it's 6-9, and you're in a little bit of a hole if you're the Cerezas going into the later innings. And Lloyd Cook is the absolute monster on the team with these stats. Power versus righties engaged. We'll see if he gets a pitch to hit here after a monstrous inning from the Sirloins.
Yeah, if you're Ricks, I mean, the good news is you've got a cushion of a game, but you got to be wondering what on earth is going on here.
Man, everything has changed so quickly in just the span of this bottom half inning. And that's not the good pitch to throw.
Oh
and now it's going to be a double. It's going to score 2 more. We're going to see it up 6-11, and he's nearly doubled up the Cerezas just in 1 inning alone. And they just keep coming. He's finding gaps in the outfield over and over. He keeps hitting doubles after taking walks.
He's rattled. He's got 0 accuracy.
And Shimmy is still on the mound. Chuck Charles finally comes in, but it's already been a 10-run inning. It doesn't matter who you bring in at this time. Now you're in a huge hole down 5 after the best inning we've seen in this series from the Sirloins. They did have a 7-run inning in the game that they run ruled, but now we see a 10-run inning from him. And wow, what a way to respond after 26 innings of absolutely doing nothing. You show up and put 10 in 1 inning? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and because he stuck with Digby the way he did, Sabrina's really, she's still got quite a bit left in her.
And this is what makes the semifinals so great. You see the Sirloins' hopes just fleeting, and the season is going away for them. And then next thing you know, they're doubling up Ricks and looking to force a Game 7.
Yeah, absolutely. Knocking on the door. It looked grim. Let's put it that way, Uni.
Yeah, it sure did. When you have 26 innings straight and you've only scored 2 runs in that time, and then you put up 10, I've never seen that sort of turnaround. And credit to Ed, what an incredible inning.
Yeah, and that's why you gotta, no matter who you are, you gotta, if you've ever shown you can do it, you gotta believe in your offense, even when you're going through 2 games in a row, 26 innings in a row where you've only scored 2 or 3 runs, because if you've shown you can do it, you can do what Ed just did there.
And Ed makes the wrong decision throwing it to second. Had a chance to double him up after a weak pop up. We got 2 outs though.
Boy, she will throw that forkball, won't she?
Yeah, really using the forkball a lot this game. Not as much of the cutter as we've seen the rest of the series. A fastball up high, it's going to be good. And yep, when you throw a fastball up high like that, a lot easier to throw him out at second. And now you get out of the inning and all the pressure is on the Cerezas. You can swing loosely at the plate if you're the Sirloins. At this point, why not add a couple more?
And he goes for the short fence there, but boy, was he short.
Sure was. We have not seen a home run in the last 2 games. Pitcher's able to knock it down and put it away. 2 quick outs for the Sirloins.
Yeah, it's interesting though. You're right, Uni. This is a lot of runs for no power, basically.
Yeah, that just shows how it can be much more frustrating on the pitcher's mound when you're giving up that many hits in an inning. It's a lot more frustrating when you see singles and doubles laced over your infield over and over and over than just giving up a 2 or 3 run shot here or there, I think. It can really eat at you on the mound.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree.
And there's another one right by the pitcher, and we're going to see 2 on with 2 outs.
Yeah, and so we just gave Ricks a lot of credit. Let's give Eddie a lot of credit because his concentration has never wavered, other than 1 or 2 lazy pitches right after the wheels came off. We've seen a lot of good stick-to-itiveness, especially on the offensive end, where he's just dug in, done the right thing. He's made the right substitutions, and has started to eke out some runs. Whereas before, it seemed like no matter what he did, Ricks was somehow coming up with the answer, but that he finally ran out of steam with that.
Right, it's like the Sirloins hit the reset mode going into that bottom half of the inning and just said, okay, well, it's now or never, and I got to do something. And boy, did he. And now the Cerezas, with their last gasp in this game, Lloyd Cook, a good stop over there, a bad throw though, and it might go all the way into the dugout, but he's able to stop it at first. Runners on the corners
good
now.
Good play by Ricks.
And
a good play to scramble back there and give himself a chance.
Right. Not getting too aggressive on the base pass, knowing that he needs 5 runs, not 2. And that one's an RNG drop. We'll see if he can still get to first in time, and he does. But
Oof.
1 run scores, and now it's a 4-run ball game with 2 outs to play with. Choo-choo rails up.
Yeah, now Rick's trying to bicycle straight uphill here, but there's a single.
Ballin with the late reaction and a bad throw, and it's going to score 1, and now you got 3. You're only 3 away, and this game is very much in reach, even though it's the bottom of the ninth or the top of the ninth. And there's another one. That's what you need to do, right past the shortstop, and he's going to send him home again. We'll see if he commits to it, and he does. And now, wow, a 2-run game.
Wow,
And the tying
wow.
run is at the plate.
And the one before that was an extremely shaky decision to even head home. He only got there because they dirtballed it. Oh my!
And we're seeing some. Is he gonna send him home?
You gotta get that runner. No, get that runner.
He sends
He's
him
got
home.
it. Yeah, there he goes.
No. Now you're a solo shot away. There's only 1 reliever left in the pen, but you have no choice here. You gotta bring in the pinch hitter. You're down to your final out. 1 home run right here, and this is the guy to do it. Felipe Nugget's got the power.
Yeah, but Ed made the right decision there. You have to get that back runner no matter what, and he didn't get distracted by that runner going home. That wasn't the tying run.
Thinks about pulling Perez, but decides to keep his guns in. And he gets a chase on the curveball, and we're finally going to see the end of this game. And wow,
oh my
what
Lord!
a comeback from Ed. Insane game 6, and we're tied at 3-3, and there's going to be a game 7.
Wow. I don't know what to say, Uni. Just great baseball. Love these 2 guys. The effort they put in here is just, it's so typical of these
Players in both leagues that just pour their heart into these games. And, you know, it's so easy to quit or give up. And look at Eddie, man, just cruising along.
Man, and Dwayne said it in chat, that really is an all-timer. When you're looking at someone like Ed, who's been in the AAA for so long, really been trying to break through and get his first championship. He's been in the World Series before, and you see his back against the wall, and it seems like his series is practically going to be over. He hasn't been able to put across anything, and he's able to muster up some runs all in 1 inning right there, practically putting up 10 like we all saw him. My Lord, what a series it's been. It's had a little bit of everything. We saw the 1-run game in game 1 that went 16 innings. We saw the 1-0 game from Ricks winning in game 2. We saw a couple of run rules in 3 and 4, and what looked like it was going to be all Ricks there in game 5 and 6. Changes in the blink of an eye just in 1/2 inning. The Sirloins keep their hopes alive, and wow, you see that veteran type of savviness as he's able to lock his mental in and really come back and force a game 7. That's actually incredible. I don't have much to say about it. It's just I don't think I could do that. Wow, he kept his mental locked in.
Yeah, he did. I'm really proud of Eddie, of both of these guys. Now we might have to bring the Void back here for game 7. The Void really ushered in an incredible 2 games here, so let's not sleep on the Void.
Yeah, now you're gonna be at Ricks's home stadium whenever you go into game 7. The home teams finally won today after we put up the fact that it was 4-0 for the away teams in this series. It doesn't seem to matter where they're playing at. It just matters momentum, and it's been a couple of big innings in the wins for the Sirloins that have got him the dubs. He had a 7-run inning in the run rule, and then he obviously had that 10-run right there, while Ricks and his wins is just kind of pieced together 1 or 2 runs at a time and locked in on the mound. So it's going to be a very intense game 7. I'm excited that we get one, and it's going to be all the marbles are on the table. Both guys' backs are against the wall. Game 7s are the greatest thing in sports. So if you have anything to add before we jump into the XBL set with Luke and Pseudo, then we'll get out of here.
No, nothing to add other than, of course, Game 7 is going to be fantastic with these guys. They've already done more than they could possibly be asked. Get in here, folks. Pseudo versus Luke. Let's not forget, Pseudo Spluto, he won the last cup. He's the last champion in the XBL for anything that's happened. Luke will be extremely tough, but Spluto took out Wishbone, so this is a real player with a lot of talent, And looking forward to that series. Thanks a lot for the casting, Uni.
Yeah, of course. Fun casting with you as always. And like Miss said, Game 7, it's going to be coming at you either this weekend or next week. Keep your eyes locked into the Discord and see when we have that going. You're not going to want to miss that with these two veterans, and the fact that it's any Game 7 means that it's been an incredible set and an incredible series. But yeah, Spluto's got hardware, Luke's got hardware, and you're going to see an insane series. So far in the XBL, we've got Luke and Lazy with Lazy up 2 after some classics yesterday on the stream, and then Pseudo and Luke looking to put up some classics. It's been a great playoff so far in both leagues, and we're going to have Dwayne and No Hummus in the booth coming at you as soon as I end this one. So, make sure to stay right here. We're going to end the stream and then start it right back up. So, hopefully it's a great game 1 and 2, and good luck to both of those players. We'll see y'all in the AAA games whenever we get it posted to the Discord for Ed and Rick. So, thanks for watching. It was good casting as always, and I'll see y'all in the chat for game 1 and 2, Pseudo and Luke.